It's everything you've ever wanted in an hour-long video. It's elevator. Elevator action, that is. Yeah, look at that guy. He's ready for some action. Yeah, as I said yesterday, this is my Chronix game. Published by Taito. I've never played elevator action. So I'm really looking forward to going into what is probably the worst version of elevator action you could possibly play. Unless it had a 2600 port, then that's probably it. Unless it had a ZX Spectrum port, then that's probably it. You know, I guess all things considered, it could be worse. Oh yeah. I'll tell you one thing. It absolutely feels like a Micronix game. Okay, so, what have we done? We've, shot a couple dudes. And then we, and then we jump to our death on an elevator shaft. We appear to have unlimited ammo, which is, you know, for one of these older arcade games, a boon. It's not like Burger Time where it's like, hey, you can spray like 5 times ever. Okay, I think I'm getting what's going on here. You know, I'd love to go down the escalator here, or down the stairwell, if that's at all possible. Okay, there we go. It is possible. It just took me a while to get that sorted out. Okay, now we gotta wait for this elevator, I presume. It's not unplayable so far. But it is certainly, you know, about as janky as you would expect from Micronix. It's just got that little, like, hey, I'm running, but kind of. I'm running, but only kind of. The controls when it comes to, well, doing anything. Oh, gosh, okay. Well, we just died that way. That was a fascinating way of dying. But, yeah, what was I saying? All of the controls just have that, like, kind of not always super responsive feel to them. Of course, it doesn't help that the game runs at a snail's pace, which is, of course, gonna result in bad times for you. But the fact that you can just kind of spam shooting is nice. Which is good, because it's kill or be killed in the world of elevators. Make no mistake about it. Seems like as long as you stay crouched, you cannot be stopped. I'm sure that that's false, but it certainly feels like it in the short term. So, assuming that our goal is to get down to floor 1. Ooh, no, there's a basement actually, which means we gotta get all the way to that other elevator here. No, we got crushed by this one. Okay. It's okay, you know? I'm just feeling out the base ground rules of the game here. You expect a game over your first time in one of these little arcade games, you know? You're figuring out what is allowed, what isn't allowed. That whole ordeal. So, this part, it's easy. You just keep going straight down. They appear to be very slow to shoot you, at least in Stage 1. That's probably going to change to make it a miserable experience later on down the road, but, you know. At least I figured out how to go down the stairs. Hey, there we go. We didn't have to wait for the elevator that time. We were able to just get right on it. Their death animation confuses me. Like, I'm not sure if they take 1 shot or 2 shots to kill. I think just 1 shot, but their death animation is, how do we say, overly complicated? It's not bad. It's, you know, it feels okay as a game. Little shame that's got that Micronix jank to it, but, as far as, you know, the design of the base game itself, it seems like it could be a fun time. Which, I mean, when you name your game something like Elevator Action, you're not immediately inciting feelings of grand adventure and intense action. I mean, I know the word action is literally in the title. Don't even start with me on that, but I don't know how many kids look up to elevators as being the most exciting thing that they've ever experienced. I say that, and yet as a kid I always wanted to take an elevator, no matter how tiny of a path it was to my destination. It was like, if it's an elevator, I'm taking it. So, I've answered my own question. Not a particularly high score, but we survived, you know? I'm hoping that I'm not missing something important. Boy, this is a noise. This is a good sound. So, we've come back to this door, and I don't know why. I have a feeling that I'm missing a very crucial... We can go into the door, and it gets us points, and we pick up this thing. I say again, clearly there are some things that I'm missing. You gotta be really precise if you want to go down these stairs. You gotta stand, like, directly on that little pad there. Okay, well, that's nice. Man, yeah. Just going through the red doors is, far more complicated than it should be. Hey, got destroyed by the elevator. Good job. That would never happen to someone like me, a professional gamer who has absolutely had that happen to him. See, you gotta face the door, stand right where, yep, stand right where it tells you to stand, and then push up. It's very precise. But not in a Super Meat Boy way. In a, well, in an elevator action way. I'm hoping that going through all of these red doors will allow us to actually beat the level. I should have assumed that they were important, but the first time that I ran into one, I couldn't figure out how to get into it, so I just kind of passed it by. And can you really blame me? I mean, it's very, very tricky to even get into one of these. We're good now, though. It takes a long time to get out of them, too, for whatever reason. The only reason is because it's Micronics, man. I don't know. Maybe the original arcade version was like that, too, but it's just fun to rag on a kind of goofy developer. To say, yeah, please don't let me come out to the door to a bullet immediately in the face. That would be good. We can be stopped. We should have jumped there. We did in fact get shot. Okay, so you do gotta pay attention to the general trajectory of the bullets. Lest you become dead. We should be pretty safe here, though, you know? Nobody's gonna bug us while we're out at this floor. This is going to take an eternity to wait for the elevator, you know? And therein lies the problem when you're building a game about elevators, is, you know, elevators require a degree of waiting. Waiting is not necessarily the most exciting gameplay element if you're going to look at an arcade-style game. You know, few people play a game that revolves around waiting. Doesn't revolve around waiting. I'm being overly goofy about it here. Okay, yeah, we got all the red doors, so now we hop in our car and we drive away. Bonus! Don't mind if I do, thank you. And just immediately to the next level. No little grappling hook cutscene. No sauce. It's just a single roll of focaccia bread. Nah, this is more like white bread, honestly. It's not like Wonder Bread. It's you know, just like a maybe store brand white bread. I'm not sure if that's better or worse than Wonder Bread, though. I'll come clean on that. Even I'm not quite sure what my metaphor was attempting there. I could have saved a little time by going the other direction, but, you know, it's fine. No one's asking for a speedrun of elevator action. Unless you submit a speedrun of elevator action to a speedrunning marathon, then perhaps, well, yes, people would be asking for exactly that. But this ain't no marathon. I guess it kind of is, playing every single NES game, you know, that's got marathon elements to it. All things considered, though, for a game about elevators, it's got a fairly satisfying gameplay loop to it. Again, it's certainly more enticing than Burger Time to me. But, you know, put that on Taito, you know? Taito, they're a household name in the arcade market. They've got a better pedigree than Data East. Most certainly. That's not to say that Data East have never put out a decent game in their life. I'm sure that we'll stumble upon one and we'll say, wow, how pleasant. Oh, we got shot. Okay. It's a little sad, but, you know, it happens sometimes. Alright, this should be nearing the end of this level. Oh, of course, of course. Just be quick on the draw, man. Be quick on the draw, and you hopefully won't get too destroyed. Unfortunately, this elevator here is taking its own sweet time. It's alright. Remember, just when in doubt, spam that fire button. Whoa! How did I not run into him while I was in there, you know? Fair play, you were clearly hiding behind the shower curtain. And it was clearly too much for my little brain to handle. It's, you know, it's got its minor difficulties, but it's far from the most difficult arcade game that I've played, at least arcade conversion. I'm sure it picks up in later levels, as these games do tend to. Yeah, we've got the thing. The package. Oh, look at that. He juked me good there. You know, I can't even be mad at that. He just outplayed me. You know, you gotta be Quick Draw McGraw on this. I don't even know if that's a character. It sounds like it would be some old Tex Avery character or something. Yeah. Okay, we're fine. We're not gonna die today. What do we say to the god of death? No, thank you. Hey, if you really wanna, you know, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Like how they get in one at a time. And oh, look at that! Now they're running away from me. No, I should have jumped. I saw him crouch and I was like, jump, but instead I just crouched and shot at him instead. Well, you know. That was a high score though. Look at that. Start you back at level 1. Now, I haven't been paying a ton of attention, but it does look like each level has basically the same layout, more or less. So, it makes progression not that interesting. That is always kind of a problem with arcade games is, you know, when going to the next level just doesn't get exciting anymore. You're like, hey, it's the same thing as the last level. Great. maybe with marginally more enemies on screen. Oh, I see, I see. Very, very clever there. You got me. Can't go through this. Which means I gotta go down, over, and up. Yeah, if you could come meet me down here. I prefer that to falling for you. You can try to shoot me if you want, man, but it's not gonna work. I'm just telling you that right now. Giving you a free little tip of how to stop the elevator action hero. Come on now. That is, it's a little frustrating. Going downstairs should never be frustrating. Nope, can't walk around it. The cable's in the way. Fair enough. Check it out. I've got the thing. I don't know, you know, arcade games, they, especially the ones with, rather plain progression, you know, you kind of run out of things to say. We figured out the ground rules of the game. We know what the game wants us to try to achieve, so now it's just a matter of doing that over and over and over until you get the most points out of it. Like, there's no beating elevator action. Well, there's probably a theoretical final stage, but... But yes, to stay on the positive side of things, it is actually a reasonably interesting game. Like, I can't be too negative about it because I haven't played anything quite like it. You know, the whole concept of, like, elevators controlling our thoughts and minds. The, apparently suicidal hitmen. They are hitmen, right? I can only assume so. They're certainly not guys ready to come to our birthday party and wish us a good day. Unless this is our birthday party and we just have exceptionally dangerous taste. Oh! Can you believe that? I'm insulted. It was a heck of a shot, you know? But you know, props to him. Props to him. Had a nice time with Ghost of Tsushima last night. Well, not just last night, the majority of the day. I was sold on it when a friend said, when you figure out the combat and everything starts clicking, you become the character. And they were not wrong. Sometimes I'll go into a fight and I'll just completely fall on my face and die immediately. And then I think, well, that wasn't very cool. But other times, I go through, I don't take a single hit, everyone just gets destroyed, and I think that felt amazing. Which is exactly how a game of that caliber should feel. Definitely recommended to anybody who likes a good open world action romp. Yeah, you could argue it's an RPG, but I don't know, it's not really an RPG. No more than her... Actually, even less than Horizon Zero Dawn was an RPG, because... I mean, you get the occasional dialogue option, but they don't appear to... Stood up the wrong time. But they don't appear to make any real difference in what's going on. At least I don't think. Maybe I'll be eating my words. I know. It's far more action game than it is RPG. Yes, you have experience points, kind of. Yes, you have a skill tree, but... I mean, what game doesn't have a skill tree nowadays? I mean, sheesh, Forza Horizon arguably has a level up system. I'm not gonna go around claiming that Forza Horizon is an RPG. No, I think, you know, skill trees and stuff like that are just a very easy way of giving a game longevity. Longevity? Did I say that right the first time? I don't know. And I don't mean that in a negative way either. I don't mean like, oh, it's just a lazy way of making a game feel like it's longer. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, it's, if you build an enticing, fun skill tree to build around, you know, it opens up a swath of options. And who doesn't like a swath of options in their game? Their game, singular. No! Okay. I thought I was gonna get crushed somehow, but we're good. We're good. Took you long enough to find that one. What are we grabbing anyway? Blackmail? A is jump, not up. Oh my goodness. If nothing else, this did put me in a position where I don't have to wait as long. But you know, if I had to choose between waiting and losing a life, I'd probably choose waiting. Don't mean to be controversial here. Ooh, I thought he had a real shot at me. And there you go. Second verse, same as the first. Yeah, this is pretty much the same layout. There might be a little difference here. I think that elevator went down one floor further. But other than that, it's, you know, pretty similar. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Don't give me this kind of heart attack. Okay, I'm safe here. There's a wall dividing me and the hitman. That wasn't so good. Wasn't even a high score. Can you believe that? Yeah, there's the grappling hook. Take your time, man, you know? Just shimmy down there a pixel at a time. No one's gonna blame you. We'll never truly escape the world of arcade conversions on the NES, but once we start getting to the more original properties, which we have been starting to get there, that's when things start to pick up. But as it is, you know, it's always easier to just do a remaster. To this day, people continue to just release remasters and stuff. People get really excited about remasters, and there are some that I get excited about. I shouldn't say remaster. There were a couple like remakes that I got excited about, like Spyro Reignited. I was all aboard for that. But that was bad. But in the end, I will pretty much always prefer a new original game to a remake or a remaster. A lot of remakes, and again, this is gonna sound negative, but they kind of feel like a way to sell an older game at a full price tag again. Now, in the event of something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, that was pretty much entirely different from Final Fantasy VII. Different gameplay, completely revamped graphics. The story was a little reworked, so that I can see. Okay, that's fair game. Even though I know a lot of people are mad that it wasn't the full game and that the rest is coming in a later part. What they did release was robust and long enough to have its own legs as a standalone game. I mean, I've heard some people say, like, yeah, you can drop like 80 hours into that, and I'm like, hey, there's some people who will buy like a shooter with like a 12-hour campaign for full price. So I don't think that Final Fantasy VII being released in bits was necessarily the worst thing in the world. In a perfect world, yeah, it would have just been the full game, but... Well, in case you haven't figured it out, this is far from a perfect world. Yeah. Protection in the red door. Please don't shoot me the second I come out. The greatest jump in video game history. Who doesn't just jump with their legs straight out in front of them? You can do that?! Alright, the game has officially ascended. I've found out something that I didn't know you could do. That's probably the extent of the ascension of this game. But, yeah, you can apparently drop lights on your enemies' heads. Maybe I'm, grasping for, things to get excited about now, but, you know, hey. It's an older game. Even in terms of the NES's life cycle. Again, having never actually played Elevator Action, I'm not sure what the arcade version looks like, but I can virtually guarantee that it has considerably more graphical fidelity than this version. This is the case with all the arcade conversions on the NES. Barring maybe Centipede. Yeah, shoot those lights. For no reason other than it's fun and I know I can do it. I mean, you know, it's kind of neat that they changed the color scheme and everything to be like, oh, it's dark now, but, you know, in the end, it's kind of a niche feature. But it's not a bad thing. People are all about the little things that people add in games nowadays. Look at Red Dead Redemption 2. That was kind of dirty. An absolute swath of minute details that wind up culminating in an overall exceptional experience. It's when you see something happen that you didn't even think they would think about. Like Death Stranding. I didn't personally see this happen, but saw a video of someone who just found a random other NPC porter, just another mailman, ran into a field of BTs. If you don't know what BT is, they are the invisible threat, and if you touch one, it causes a giant void out explosion type thing. And saw the NPC porter get devoured by a BT, caused a void out, and caused a game over. Just because they observed it happen, and they were like, on one hand, it felt a little like betraying that it was a game over that I couldn't do anything about, but on the other hand, holy cow, that happened. And I would totally be on the same page. Like, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd say I would have never expected that to occur. Come on, there we go. Quit wasting all your days in the red room. It's definitely when you're at your most vulnerable is when you're coming out of a door. And that's probably by design, you know, but yeah, crush them. We don't get points for crushing them, unfortunately, but wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we could crush them? That was a bad idea. I forgot that you can't pass by the elevator cables. I was like, watch this, I'm gonna be cute and jump to the other side. Instead I just died. Don't be cute, man. It's never worth it. Can we get a double crush? No, they both survived! I'm fine. Come on, get in the door. There we go. But yeah, I'm running into almost the issue of where I'm playing through my games, and I'm actually beating them at a pace higher than I would have in the past. But I've got so many long games that I can't keep up, which is the definition of a first world problem. Like Death Stranding, that took me close to 50 hours to. I thought I was safe, but I wasn't. That took me close to 50 hours to beat. Ghost of Tsushima, I've heard you can easily drop a 50 hours in that game too. And then I'm sitting here going, all right, so when am I going to make time for stuff like Halo 1? Which again, I've beaten Halo 1 in the past. I think I beat the PC version, which I think I downloaded it off of LimeWire when I was a kid or something like that. I don't know, something like that. And but it's been a while, and I thought, no. I wanna experience it on its original hardware, the OG Xbox. Give it a go, see what it's like. And while I do prefer mouse and keyboard when it comes to first-person shooter endeavors, you don't improve by never playing with a controller. Do I have to improve with it? No. But I'd like to. I'd like to not be a total potato when it comes to using a controller. There are some people who say, like, oh, well, you can get really good with the controller. And it's like, well, a lot of that is also because those console shooters are designed to not totally play themselves, but there is a considerable amount of aid when it comes to aiming. If you turn off all aim assists, it's a mess. Like, you can't get much done at all. Even if you are, quote-unquote, really good with the controller. It's just, it's imprecise. But instead of complaining about the imprecision of a dual analog stick setup, I will instead choose to praise the things that are done to mitigate that lack of precision, including those aim assists, while still making it so that the game doesn't completely play itself, There's a fine line there in helping the player out without completely leading the player by the hand. Ah, those shots get me every time, man. Game over. Bad score. Bad score. Like, heck, even harkening back to the, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark days. As long as you aim in the generally correct direction, you'll probably hit something. And honestly, they had to make it that way. Well, like, if they tried to make it pure, precise aiming with no fudging of the numbers, it would have led to nothing but pure frustration on an N64 controller. I mean, you're aiming with what is effectively a D-pad, the C buttons. And the end result is not a game where I would say, see, it sucks so bad that they had to program it to play itself. No, I say, it's good because you're able to play it with this janky controller. Again, it's all about finding the silver lining where there is one, because that's absolutely a silver lining. It's absolutely a positive thing. Good. That didn't kill us. It's like how I saw a comment online the other day saying, consoles hold back game development. I thought, that is a silly statement. It's a really silly statement. Consoles have been, pretty much the forefront of game development for a while. And yeah, there are those PC-specific games, but when you think about it, how many ultra-impressive-looking PC games are there that were not later ported to a console more or less unscathed? Especially nowadays. Yeah, you can go back like a couple game generations and look at stuff like, Far Cry Far Cry for the Xbox was a very, very different game because I couldn't handle it. And it's like, yeah, that's true. At the same time, oh, pardon me. Oh gosh, I think it's gonna get away. Oh, we got it. Oh, I do apologize for that, but it was absolutely necessary. But at the same time, if you look at the original Xbox, oh, I didn't pay attention. You got Morrowind. A nearly perfect port. DLC and all. DLC, I guess you could call them expansion packs back then. But, the console did not inhibit the PC version one bit. Now, the example people cite the most is Deus Ex Invisible War. They're like, well, that game was gimped because they had to make it simpler for consoles. It's like, well, yes, but again, that game is several console generations back at this point now. That is an outdated game, and you can't take the standards of then and apply it to now. Look at a game like The Witcher 3. Looks outstanding on PC. Looks pretty good on consoles, too. Doesn't run quite as smoothly, but the PC version does not suffer because it happens to also exist on consoles. It's an outdated argument, and really, the argument was really only relevant for a little bit, too, because look at the NES. There was a version of Super Mario Brothers that was developed for home computers. I don't remember who developed it. I think it may have even been Capcom. It was something really weird like that. And they could not figure out smooth scrolling like on a PC, and as a result, you had a version of Super Mario Brothers where you played it literally screen by screen. Worst version you could play, by far. The console overpowered the PC version. And yes, that's a cherry-picked anecdotal piece of history there, but it all is. There are instances of ports to a console being gimped. There are instances of ports to a console being completely intact. There are instances of ports to PCs being gimped. And it all just depends on where you are at whatever point in history. And I think, gosh, I thought I had enough time to jump there. But trying to make that claim today that consoles hold back PC development is, well, I don't want to be overly harsh, but I think it's a stupid argument, honestly. Maybe that's just because fewer and fewer developers are creating games built purely for PC hardware. Like, you look at the amount of, like, big AAA titles built specifically for a computer, and honestly, the number is dwindling. You don't see so many. Most everything has a console version as well. Yeah, you get the occasional game that doesn't come out for a console, like Mech Warrior 5. I don't believe that has a console version, but at the same time, it's also not the most impressive game out there. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and it looks nice enough, but it's not something that you're gonna look at to say, see, this is something only a PC is capable of. Even the truly impressive stuff, like Elite Dangerous, it's got a PS4 version. It's more or less identical to the PC version. So I don't know. That's just my recent console apologist kicking in there, but I think it's worth saying. There's merit to it, I think. So, like, I know a lot of people are concerned about, oh, Cyberpunk 2077, they're gonna have to cut things because of the consoles. It's like, I really think that you're scared of a boogeyman right now. If that's your biggest concern in life, I think it's unfounded, honestly. It's a relatively low-scoring game, and I mean, in general, this isn't a game where it's like, 10,000 points for this, a billion points for that. It's like, no, you just kind of get, you know, a few hundred here, another 100 here. Wish I could just jump down, but clearly we're gonna die if that happens, so, well. Don't kill me. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We made it. I don't know how many lives we have left, by the way. I don't even think that there's a life counter. Unless where it says 1 up, if that means we have 1, but that probably just means player 1. As it tends to mean in these older arcade games. But yeah, the whole argument, again, comes down to the point in time and the hardware capabilities. We should have died there. We should have died there too. We are indestructible. Apparently. We are not indestructible. That's the game over, isn't it? Yep, that's the game over. Got that right. And yes, 1 up literally does just mean player 1. So that's a little concerning that there's no life counter on this. But, you know, I didn't even notice until now, so what does it really matter? You know, you just play. If you happen to be out of lives, so be it. What can you do about it? Worrying about it doesn't make any sense. Because ideally, you should always be playing as cautiously and safely as you can anyway. Take risks for the points if you're really going for them, sure, but, you know, whether you're at 1 life or at 3 lives, you're probably going to be putting in pretty similar performances either way. Yeah, the waiting aspect is not the most exciting part of this game. I know I've already said that. I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but, you know, it's just reinforcing what I think. But yeah, just look at that walk cycle and the frame rate and the slight flicker that happens when you switch floors. It's got my chronics all over it. I thought I shot that guy on the right, but apparently I didn't. Yeah, and I'm sure there's ways to counter that. Like, I'm sure that's not unfair, and I'm just, you know, not playing at 110%, but... I like how those two guys as sprites were kind of morphed into each other. They looked like a freakish mutant blob man. I don't mean to be rude, but, you know, when you look like a blob man, you look like a blob man. Yeah, get me onto this elevator, please. Thank you for not killing me the second that I showed up there. Just another 1,000 bonus. I don't know what dictates the bonuses, honestly. I know I got a 2,000 point bonus once, but couldn't tell you how I got there. Careful, lights are out. What are you gonna do about it now? They're probably gonna shoot me the second that I come out of the store, aren't they? That's their plan. Oh, he tried. He tried. Just a little bit later and you would have gotten me, man. We stayed ducked, and it was a prudent move. Hit me with your finest briefcase. Looks like you can definitely only hit the lights if you're coming down an elevator, or up an elevator, I suppose. You can't just jump and nail him. At least that's my assumption. It's possible that I could have just botched the movement, but I doubt it. Me, botch something? Never. I'm gonna get a big old raise for all the things I'm collecting. It sucks that you can't crouch in an elevator, too. I get why you can't, because, you know, down brings you down. But, you know, it leaves you exceptionally vulnerable when you're in an elevator. And again, I'm sure there's strats to avoid that, but, you know, I'm not gonna worry so much about it in just a little one-time take-a-look style video. What do we got down here? Oh yeah, another guy with a gun. Very, very clever. Never would have seen that coming. I don't think I've seen any red doors in the very top section before. You know, where you grapple in and begin your adventure. It's tough living, man. Tough living. Tough living when all you can do is die. Oh, things are getting spicy. Okay. Never mind, we're good. We're fine. We're fine. Nice car, man. See, and there's bonus of 2,000. Is that because it's level 2? Is that literally all that dictates the bonus? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, like, is this just like no Red Door City? Do they just not spawn up there? I have to imagine they eventually would. Just give me the briefcase, man. Those have got to be escalators, you know, because it's just the sound. Regular stairways, as far as I know, don't make a mechanical hum when you walk down them. No! This is garbage. Garbage. I demand a recount. So yeah, I mean, at least we know that we're not missing out on much, being that every level is the same layout. Missed opportunity there. You could have gotten some pretty funky looking towers with a little more tender love and care. A little more variety. He wasn't even paying attention. Caught him with his pants down entirely. I was gonna jump right down the shaft, but I don't think it would have let me. I think it would have stopped me. Oh, come on. Well, I just did that to myself by being impatient. I don't see any timer. I think you theoretically could just sit in one place and farm points ad nauseum. It would be a very slow way of getting a high score, of course. You know, you only get 100 per baddie that you shoot. The greatest jump animation. Should have crouched. Should have not stood there jumping around. Actually, that's how I ideally would have gotten out of that alive. There we go. There we go. No, we're on the home stretch. Just take a little more elevator action. The most amazing, enticing action I've ever seen in my life. The time you spend inside the doors is definitely also a little lengthy. You know, just one of those things where you could cut down that time and it would make for a more brisk experience. But that's kind of the story with all these old NES games, right? It's like, what little things do you gotta change to just make the overall experience just a little tighter? But again, you know, game development is still... It was still young. Yeah, they had the Atari 2600 guys kind of working out some quirks through that whole generation, but well, they had a lot of work to do. They definitely did not have it perfected, we'll put it that way. Still kind of a Wild West. As is evidenced by the complete lack of documentation on some of these older games. You try to find, like, credits, like programming credits for some of these older games, and it's a barren wasteland. Good luck figuring out who exactly worked on it. Yeah, Micronics, sure, but do I know the exact programmers? Some games might have that information, some may not. Nowadays, you know, you get end credits showing every person who ever delivered a cup of coffee. Credit is most certainly given. The music, you know, it's the same song forever. And it's not necessarily enough of a banger to be like, oh yeah, this song again! It's, you know, it's just kind of, it's there. It's not 1942 levels of miserable, but it's just, it's not exceptional either. It's like the bare minimum required in an arcade game. Not annoying, but also not exciting. I think that kind of sums up elevator action as a whole, you know? Not annoying, but not exciting. See, I'm a marketing genius. Oh, I should have ducked. Should have ducked. It's a little annoying when, you know, they decide they're actually going to shoot you. When the game plays as intended, it's a little annoying. All right. All right. Don't worry. There's good stuff coming. Good stuff on the radar. Spoil it for yourself by looking it up, or you can just hang tight and see what kind of wonders are going to come our way on this goofy little series we so choose to do. Again, you can't crouch at the elevator. I wanted to. I wanted to save myself. But it wasn't happening. Would have been better pushing up to travel up on the elevator. That was completely on me. I tiny brained that one. Major smooth brain stuff going on there. So here we go again for what I would imagine would be one last time. Unless I somehow managed to game over in 4 minutes, which would be impressive. The game is so slow-paced, I don't even know if that's possible. It is possible, of course. Just set the controller down, forehead. Don't shoot me the second I come up, please. Oh, thanks. No, he did! He did exactly what I told him not to! He is a terrible listener. And he is, my least favorite human being on the planet. I want my money back. This said elevator action, not escalator action. Ah, joke's on you. It's emulated. And, do pardon me for being rude, but I wouldn't say that this is the most crucial thing for me to add to my NES collection at the moment. It's certainly not the worst thing I've played, but come on, we got stuff like Gradius I don't own yet. Gotta get your priorities straight. No. My biggest issue when it comes to collecting games and buying games is when it comes to the expensive ones. I'm talking like your Silent Hills. Classic franchise. I'd love to own the Silent Hill games, but they are getting so damn expensive. We're talking easily $100 for pretty much all of them. Not combined, each. If they were combined, I'd be over the moon. And, gosh, you can't crouch in the elevator! So frustrating. But, and they know you're always like, oh, I don't want to buy it because maybe I'll find it for super cheap at a Goodwill somewhere. And then you're like, but if I rely on that, then I'll never have it because it'll never show up at the Goodwill. And then you're like, but maybe I'll just wait for the price to go down. And you're like, no, the price isn't going to go down. It's only going to go up. That's how these things work. It is not going to get cheaper. I promise you. When you say, okay, well, there's some other games I want to buy, so I'll buy them first. And it's like, but no, the longer that you wait on it, the more expensive it's going to get. I mean, I bought my copy of Path of Radiance for $150. It's $250 now. I'm really glad I didn't wait on it. So, you know, that's when I say, well, what the heck? There's really no winning, is there? Just kind of got to decide, all right, today I'm throwing down the cash for just one particularly expensive game. I mean, it'll help out with the backlog, you know, instead of getting like 7 more affordable games. Again, first world problems. Don't ask me about that, by the way. So yeah, I could start another run, but with 30 seconds left, that seems useless. I thought it would stop you. I thought it did in the past, but no, it turns out if you keep holding right just a little bit longer, it does in fact just allow you to fall into the void. So that's elevator action. You know, it's janky, as you'd expect from Micronix. Micronix's name isn't on here, of course, just that Taito Corporation down there for the publisher kudos, but well, good grief, that's it. You know, playable, not that exciting. I know I was saying, oh, it's got a kind of cool gameplay loop, and it does. It's just, you know, not much to it. But tomorrow we have a true big boy, the Legend of Kage. Yeah, not the Legend of Zelda, the Legend of Kage. Published and developed by Taito. Obviously, as you would expect, it is an arcade game. I honestly don't know much about it at all, so for all I know, it could be bad. But that's what we got tomorrow. So hope you join me for the Legend of Kage. No doubt it'll be full of ninja action or something like that. Who knows? But as always, thank you for watching. We will see you next time. See you later, Space Cowboy.